Hey everybody, welcome to Brunch with Brian. How are you this morning? Okay, it's time to get back to our schedules. I'm going to talk today about building your success schedule, building a schedule that you can be very effective with in the world of home investing, real estate investing. Last couple of weeks, some of you were at some of these events. We were at a couple of events the last couple of weeks, and that can be very disruptive to your normal regular working schedule and your normal regular habits. So let's try to get back to everything this week, and especially refocusing on the phone calls. Let's talk about building your success schedule. Your success schedule for real estate investing, especially if you also are keeping another full-time job, which a lot of you guys are, most of you probably, you're going to have to be judicious with your time application. And I like time blocks. I like thinking about this business in terms of time blocks. About 7 to 10 hours is what you need to succeed in this business on a regular basis. So I want you to be ready to do 7 to 10 hours a week. And I want to break it down here on how much I want you spending on any individual aspect of this business. Okay, and you have to prioritize. That's the number one thing when you're doing scheduling. And I have a form here that I would like you guys to use, or you can use, actually, if you have some sort of a way to keep track of your hours, your minutes, that's what I want. This is called a Today form that we use with our students. You can see typed in a lot of stuff on there. So if you want the Today form, just ask, call the office, or send us an email anytime at support@thewolffcouple.com. You can get us hold of us anytime with that, with any request, anything you want, anything you've been thinking about, anything you have questions about. Just send us an email at support@thewolffcouple.com. If you want this Today form, which a lot of our students really love for time management, go ahead and ask. Now, time management, in terms of time management, there's a new paradigm for time management that I want you to have entered into your thinking. When you are writing out your schedule of what you're going to be doing and when, I want you to also write in what role will be called for from you. And so if you're going to get on the phone. So when you're writing out your 7 to 10 hour schedule, I want probably 1 to 2 hours in the beginning, and this is going to be depending on how much marketing you do, and if you're looking for buyers yet, how much time you're actually going to be spending on the phone. So you're going to definitely, I want you to schedule at least 1 or 2 hours on the phone. Hopefully, the more time on the phone, the better, because that means you're talking to customers, hopefully, and making progress, and that's the highest and best use of your time, is talking to sellers on the phone. And buyers eventually too, as you're selling your properties. So I probably right now, if you're looking at your schedule, but the thing about time blocking is if you have 2 hours that you want to be on the phone making calls, where does that 2 hours fall? And I would say it would fall probably a half hour a day 4 times. I want you to schedule 4 times per week, and I really like you to have this schedule made up by I don't know, I don't see why you can't have it tomorrow, by tomorrow, all written out and maybe even typed out and signed at the bottom and posted. Okay, now I'm really being a slave driver now, making you work. All right, so yes, I do want you guys to get that done, and this could be the difference between succeeding and failing, just really figuring out when you're putting in this time and committing to it. Not just saying, okay, so what 4 half hours right now are going to work for you? I want you to pick 1 half hour on Saturday. That might be an hour. All right, let's do this. Let's sort of build your schedule just kind of let's just wing it and start just talking and brainstorming about what your schedule may look like. It may look like 3 to 4 hours on Saturday. In fact, that's probably what I want you to write, and I probably want you to write, starting at 9 or 10 on Saturday and working for maybe 4 hours. And some of that, and we have a whole investor acquisitionist agenda that tells you what is going to happen during that 10 hours of the week. That's a pretty involved form. That's in our I just did a real big update of our acquisitionist system, just completed that. And so that's in our acquisitionist system, this completely laid out 10 hours a week of what you should be doing every minute. But I'm not getting granular on this. I'm going to keep it a little more general right here. So again, maybe 1 to 2 hours on the phone. Let's say Saturday, 1 hour on the phone from maybe 9 to 10 or 10 to 11, something like that. It's usually when you can get a hold of people. Okay, and a lot of this is going to be follow-up calls and sometimes people calling you back. So that's why this is a little bit tricky to say, this is exactly the hours and exactly the times I'm going to work, because sometimes you get a very important call and it's 8:38 on Thursday and you weren't scheduled to talk, but you got to spend a half an hour on the phone with this seller because you're going over there on Friday and you got to work everything out. So sometimes your schedule won't always line up. That's why you have to be flexible and adaptable with your schedule. Now, if you are writing in your time blocks for calling, like Saturday 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 or whatever it is, I want you to write in, after you have the time block, whatever form you're using, and you write in your, I like to call them, action steps, action items, sometimes people call them, or whatever tasks. That's kind of a tricky one to say, action tasks. Hard to say it 10 times fast, but get them in there, and then beyond that have another column and it says what role do you have to be in, what mindset do you have to achieve to be effective. So master caller me is what we like to usually call ourselves when we're getting on the phone. I am a master caller, and yes, I like to put that me on there because that's really identifying with the role. So I am master caller me when you're on the phone. Now, a deal meeting may take anywhere between 2 and 3 hours. I would like you to do 1 deal meeting a week. That's a pretty good sized time block, and that's also going to include paperwork. So hopefully you are fortunate enough to spend between 15 minutes and probably a half an hour, especially in the beginning, is doing paperwork. Paperwork is a privilege. Paperwork is when you're coming down the home stretch on a deal. And so I love paperwork myself. It makes it real. Write that down. Paperwork makes it real. So that's maybe a half hour out of that 7 to 10 hour a week. Hopefully you're filling out paperwork, because if you're not getting deals done. I mean, the logical progression of this is talk on the phone, fill out the paper. This is tricky because it's talk on the phone, then fill out the paperwork. Don't fill it out when you go to the home, because then you're going to take that filled out paperwork to the home with you. Hopefully typed out if you can. Type out as much as you can for professionalism reasons. And then you go out there and do a deal meeting. So depending on how far, in a 3-hour time block, I'm allowing about an hour commute there. So sometimes these houses aren't by you. Sometimes they're pretty far away. Sometimes they're farther than a half hour away. But sometimes they're 2 minutes away, so you never know on that one. But assume that a normal deal meeting, now you're not going to be in the house for an hour, but you're going to do a house tour, you're going to go through the paperwork, you're going to answer the questions. I've been in and out in 15 minutes before if people are in a hurry and they don't want to spend a lot of time. But it's usually going to be more like 45 minutes or an hour maybe, depending on how many questions and how long how much you like to talk. And how big the house is, and if you have questions on the tour, that type of thing. So once the house tour is done, once you're in and out of there, this might be a 2-hour block. So I want you to tentatively put in a 2 to 3 hour block every week. I would love it. That would make me so happy if you're getting out and seeing at least one house a week. All right, so that's the result of your calls that week. So calling, I want you to make 5 to 10 calls a week if possible. That's a lot. Okay, if you make 10 calls a week, that's 40 calls, 40 seller calls in a month. That'd be terrific. You would absolutely be doing business if you're doing that, okay? Because those calls are going to lead to the deal meetings. My perfect thing for you is between 20 to 50 closing calls. This is your goals. And especially in summer on the higher end, I'm shooting for higher ends here. 20 to 50 closing calls for sure every month. 4 to 8 deal meetings. Hopefully that's the result of your calling. And then that results in 1 to 2 deals, possibly 3 or 4 deals, depending on how effective you're becoming with your conversion ratio. So your schedule, put in 4 blocks, 4 half-hour blocks, and probably your days off from doing real estate are going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I'd rather have you talking to people because a lot of the business centers around the weekend. I like you talking to people on Friday and on Monday. So if you could work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Now, some folks don't like to do anything on Sunday, and that's okay. We live in an area where there's a lot of Mormon folks, and we love them. We work with a lot of Mormon people, and we have a lot of Mormon friends. It's not a big deal. But just they don't like to work Sundays. So if you have somebody like that, sometimes it's worth it to have an acquisitionist like that, if they're really good, but I will tell you that Sunday, there's business done on Sunday, so I do like you guys to be out there on Sundays. So in terms of the rest of your schedule, calling and deal meetings are the absolute priority. Other than that, there's a lot of interaction I want you doing on social media. I actually want you in groups. I want you to spend time on the internet, social media. Every day almost you should be posting and responding to social media and doing some kind of other marketing. There's going to be at least an hour or two a week where you got to be doing some kind of marketing, doing something to find customers and get sellers to call you. Okay, well, there's a lot to go into, obviously, when I start talking about scheduling and time management, but just start thinking now. Let's get back to our schedules this week and try to focus up. Definitely put in your 7 to 10 hours, write up an actual schedule, pick your times, make your time slots, 4 separate half hours for calling. Okay, if you can just accomplish that by tomorrow, that'd be awesome. And get some kind of a roughed out schedule. Ask me some questions, guys, send me questions, put them on Facebook. I'll respond to your questions on the Facebook feed here. And let's get our schedule structured to be the most effective we can be. Okay, part of that should be getting exercise and staying in shape. I mean, everybody's got to be doing something to try to stay in shape. And that, of course, part of that is deep breathing. So we'll finish off with our deep breathing, guys. Take a nice deep breath in. Always with a big smile. Another deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it go. Okay, one more deep breath in. Hold a little bit and let it go. It's actually pretzel day. It's alien day. The first Alien came out on today, so if you want to watch an alien movie, what do aliens wear to weddings? Spacesuits. So it's Audubon Day. I love birds, and I actually really do some bird watching around here. I know almost all the birds I see. And so there's some cool things as well. Kids and Pets Day today, so maybe your kids love your pets. Fun things there today, guys. Always keep smiling, try to say a joke. Do your deep breathing and that, but focus on getting back to your schedule today. Get on the phone today. Today's a great day to get on the phone and make some important calls. So great to see you, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, and we'll have our great Teaching Tuesday tomorrow afternoon, as we always do. And so get ready to tune in for that. But let's get some great deals. And guys, send us some testimonials. I know a bunch of you guys are doing deals out there, and I haven't seen your testimonials yet, so don't forget about that. Send us a great letter, just an email. Let us know what you're doing out there. Okay, so great. I'll see you soon. Until then, keep expecting success, taking a lot of action, and getting awesome training right here.